already know who this is. This is your boy LeVar, aka Ramsey, the editor-in-chief of Snub Magazine, and today I have a very special guest with us. Some of you may already know who this individual is, but you know how we do on the sit down. I don't introduce the individual. They introduce themselves to the world. So I'm gonna let our guests go ahead and introduce themselves.
Well, I am Asher HaVon, season 25 winner of NBC's The Voice, and I'm so glad to be here with you today.
How are you?
I am well, man. I'm a little thirsty, but I'm good. I'm good.
I'm here. We made it past last week.
Yes. I think that's why I'm still thirsty, but
Right.
yeah.
But number one, thank you for joining us today on the sit down.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, some of my people have been talking about it, and of course, been talking to get you on here,
Oh,
because of other interviews you have done already, so that we have to
hmm
bring you over to this side of us. But and the other thing is, congratulations on
thank you.
season 25 of The Voice.
Season
That's a
25.
major thing, and especially for that show to be going as long as it is, and you breaking barriers. Um,
Absolutely.
so
It's
how does
pretty
that
cool.
feel? How does that feel for you? Has it been surreal? How is it? Has it hit, did it hit you that moment? How was that experience for you?
You know what? Honestly, it hit me months after I won. I was on such a high. I went from not doing anything to having interviews almost every day. The day I won, I had to stay in LA for 2 weeks because we went on a radio tour, and then there was a press tour. Um, and it didn't sink in because I was too busy talking about the moment and talking about my favorite parts of the show. But when I got home and sat down, I was like, damn, I think I just won a competition.
Right.
And that's when it sunk in.
Right. So let's take it all the way back. Um, when did you know, and I like to say not that you had talent, but when did you know that you had the gift? Not many people, they can sing, or they can play with music a little bit, but when did you know that you had the voice, if you would say, to, just touch people's lives in different aspects? When did that start off for you?
I think I was around when I knew, I can't really say that I knew I had the voice, but I knew I had something special.
Mm.
I was about 5 years old, and my family was at my mom's house, and they would always like throw parties, anniversary parties. My mom and my stepdad would for their anniversary. And I remember it vividly because everybody was like singing happy anniversary to you. And then I start to sing it with them, and everybody else got quiet. Let me
Mm.
tell you, your first real critic is your cousin, your
You're right, your
auntie, your
family.
uncle,
Yeah.
because they ain't got no reason to lie to you.
Right.
So when my aunts and my uncles started to cry,
Mm.
you know, it stopped me at 5, and that stuck with me, and I knew I had something special.
Mm.
I knew I had a voice. Probably when I got to the 7th grade, and I was invited to go sing at an off-Broadway show. I didn't know how big that was. I just thought I just knew I was going to New York to sing. And when I got there, I began to sing. The people there was like, you should stay in New York. Please don't
Mm.
leave. And I called my mom, and she was like, boy, if you don't bring your butt back from New York back to Selma,
Right.
like, what you think you do? So I knew I had a voice then when
Right.
people wanted me. So yeah.
So let's go back to you going on the show.
Mhm.
You get to the show, and what was that experience for you? Because I'll give you the behind the scenes with me. So I worked on 5 or 6 seasons of Sunday's Best. I was
Okay.
behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I know how those competition shows are, and I know how we
hmm
play those roles of, you got to get certain people for TV wise, but then you
hmm
know who those people are that you like
hmm
keep your eye on. How was that experience for you to really be like, oh, this is how it is behind the scenes? Because it's a lot of work that happens
Yeah.
before you hit that stage.
Oh my God. Well, you completely understand. It's so much work.
Yeah.
90% of the show is behind stage, and 10% is that 2 minute moment on stage,
That everybody criticizes, right?
Listen, it's so much work. When I got there, it was my first time in California, in Hollywood. So I felt like a fish out of water.
Mm,
You know, I didn't really know how to make friends, or I knew how to be a friend because I've had friends, but it was a different type of thing. I was in the big league, and it felt like it. They reminded us that it was the big league. They reminded us of how big this opportunity was. Scared I was, and the only thing that comforted me was knowing I had something that deserved to be shared.
mhm. And when that first note came out, was that like a sense of relief? Or, because like I'll use for me because I first started my career before we started the industry, with modeling. So
Okay.
when that happened, backstage you have all the jitters, but then you sometimes when you get in front of the people, that's when like
Mhm.
your alter ego kicks in and it's like, all right,
Yeah,
here we go.
so I
Did that
definitely
happen?
have that. I have that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my alter ego.
Okay.
Mine is something a little more powerful and beyond me or
Mm,
my understanding. So I can't identify it as an alter ego. But before I got on stage, I was crying to the vocal coach, saying I shouldn't be here. I don't know what I'm doing. People ain't gonna like me. I'm
right.
gay. This is, I was just kind of all over the place. And my audition song was set prior to the rain. My partner broke up with me. He said, if you go to this show, don't come back. He threw all my stuff in the garbage can. I was going through a lot.
You had a story lining up. That's what you had.
Literally. And so when the man says the next artist is coming to the stage, I was like, oh shit. And my vocal coach said, Asher, go set fire to the rain.
Mm,
All right.
okay.
And when I got on stage, I kept hearing the producer saying, all you need is one coach. If one coach turned around, you're on the show. I literally said, I let it fall my heart, and chance turned. And I was like, okay, okay, I'm on the voice,
Right.
So leading up to that moment, it was a catastrophe, but I was really glad for it because I feel like it gave me all the emotions that I need to deliver such a big song like that.
Definitely. And now, whether or not you know this, I tell this to all my guests that come on the sit down, you are now considered to be a role model
Yeah.
to the world. And sometimes we don't catch on to that knowing that we are that.
Yeah.
But how does what do you say to those individuals that are looking at you right now and saying, you know what, I want to be just like that, or I want to get to that level? What are your words to them?
Oh, wow. You know what? If I may be very transparent, I've kind of come by a suffering way. You know, my life hasn't been easy. And up until this point, I questioned a lot. I questioned God. I'm sorry, my head just itching.
You're good.
Question a lot. But now that I sit where I sit, and I have been able to get what I have, I now know that every struggle was literally a part of my story. And even though the book of my life was being written, I could never read the words. I couldn't see what was coming next. But I'm so glad that I'm in this chapter. And so I would just say you can't give up in the hard times. When things stop you, rehearse. When things slow you down, get in the mirror and you really put time into your gift. I didn't have much. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't travel, but what I did every day was I sang. I knew I had a 6 octave range. I could go low and I could go high. And I wanted to perfect that. And I wanted to get to know it in a way so I could stand in any room, any stage, and deliver what I knew that I had great on the inside. So don't give up in the hard times. Rehearse in the hard times.
Yeah, I think that's a major key point. That you said that because a lot of people don't understand that's the purpose of passion. 'Cause if you don't have
Hmm.
the passion in this industry, they can wipe you out at any moment because of the things
Absolutely.
that you go through in life behind the scenes because all that
Hmm.
plays into it. So I appreciate that. And on top of that, you studied your craft. You
Hmm.
didn't just sit here and just be like, "Oh, it's me," blah 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 blah. You were studying it and
Yeah,
perfecting it at that moment.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, so let's talk about music. As far as the process of you writing, singing, what is the creative space that you get into? For me, I told people, even during COVID, COVID was horrible for some people, but for creatives, it felt like a moment for the world to stop for a second and
Hmm.
let me get back in my creative shell and just start going.
Yeah.
What is that space for you where you're like, you know what, this is okay, this is my bubble where I'm at.
Believe it or not, um, this gonna sound so strange, but everybody's different.
You right, no, you are absolutely right.
Everybody's different. Yo, I be sleep and it be 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and in my sleep I can hear melodies.
Mm.
And I wake up to pee or whatever to get some water, and I just be like, da, 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 da. And I go back to bed. Then the next morning, I'm just like, dang, this da 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 da. Da. So it comes in my mind, and
Mm.
because I get to do this full time, I have every day just to do nothing until I have to perform. It starts at night into the morning, and like all day, I'm just thinking about this song. And by the night time, I've written the song. So if I'm wanting to write something, like I would literally, like I'll vibe to some music normally days prior to, and then I'll just go to sleep, and I could just like my mind works when I'm sleeping, and I wake up and normally I can have the song.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't
Yeah.
sound weird at all because I feel weird when I could walk into a blank room. That's me. Like
Hmm.
my thing is I like to if I walk into a blank room before our set even happened, I'll walk in and I can immediately see the set.
Oh
Like
wow.
you know what I'm saying? So that doesn't sound weird to me. Like
Okay.
you in your sleep getting on how everything's coming to believe me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel crazy, when it's happening to you, you're like,
Yeah.
now is this really good? But you don't second guess
Yeah.
you push it, and
I
forward.
do. I
Agitate.
embrace it. And, being 33 years old now, I know my gift
Right.
and I know how it works. I know how it operates. It's just explaining it to other people
Yeah,
is
yeah.
where it gets tricky, which is why I don't. You're the first person that has ever asked me about my writing process. I'm a ballad singer.
Mm,
So I write these big, big, big songs that goes from hell to heaven,
right.
in a song.
Right.
So, my partner now could be in the bed, but if that thing hit me right
It hits you.
at 3 o'clock, I'm yeah, all that 3 o'clock, it gotta come out.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
No, I totally get that. Um, when you sit back and you look at the accomplishments and everything that's happened, who are some individuals that you would love to work with on any type, maybe a ballad or any type of music wise, or maybe there's something else you want to move into? Because I know some people, they stick to music and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm acting
mhm.
now. I'm this now.
So
What about you?
yes to both. So I'll start with I am wanting to get more into movies and soundtracks. I've discovered that my voice is amazing on big movie soundtracks.
Mm,
People that I want to work with. There was three women that I studied vocally, vocality, stamina wise, stage presence, and that's Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, and Celine Dion. They
mm,
were my three women. Toni, I looked to her for how to, how to have beautiful lows and how to roll and kind of hold that bottom.
mm,
Celine, for my highs and being able to just gel up there, and of course Whitney Houston for my vocal agility. So I can't work with Whitney on this side,
Right.
but definitely Celine Dion and Tony Braxton. I think Tony Braxton and I on a
That'd be
record,
amazing. Yeah.
it'll be sickening.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, it would
We
be
we
sickening.
gonna speak it out there, Tony. If you watch it, we speak
Yes.
it. We speak it. We speak it.
Sing with me, Tony. TV, that's
Right.
TV. Yo, Tony. TV, yeah. So,
Got you, got you. So, what is there any project that you have right now that you're working on that you could tell the audience or anything that's out or coming
yes.
that you want to talk about?
Uh-huh. So, I have a song dropping on Thanksgiving. And I'm sure you already know because this is your show. But
No, I don't know. Don't tell the people.
this is your show. You know everything. And
Right.
so, I have a single dropping on Thanksgiving and it's called Thank You. Um, when is this show airing? Let me ask you that before I say anything
We'll
else.
see when we drop it because I know when this is coming, so you can say whatever you want and we'll do
Okay.
production magic. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Cut this. This just gonna be for you and your VIP people.
Right.
Subscribe, buy his channel to get this portion. Um, so it's a dedication song to Reba.
Mm,
It is the sentiments of my heart. And she's my friend. She's my mother right now. She texts me, we talk all the time. Being there for me was just I felt like it was out of my league. I felt like I wasn't commercial enough.
mm,
Man, Reba got a hold to me, and everything that was there that I thought wasn't there, she brought it out in such a grand, beautiful way. She allowed me to be my authentic self. She allowed me to wear as many capes as I want, as long as I want, my weaves, my wigs, my makeup, my hats. It's me on stage. On stage, I am a royal fairy. You know, and Reba did not one time say, Asher, pull back. It was like, boy, press the gas, keep going. So this song is called Thank You. And for me, it's Reba, but I am sure that this song can identify, excuse me, with millions around the world, with people that have come into your life. And, you may not know them. They may not be here, but you can just say thank you. I think thank you is such a beautiful and powerful um word of action. So
right.
yeah, Thanksgiving days, thank you.
Got
Big beautiful song, big old 90 ballad.
right.
Back in the day where you hear these songs and
Just
folks
keep
just be
going.
flatfoot singing. I done brought a choir in. I'm trying to put
Okay.
them in some Baptist choir robes, and like it's
The
some
world needs to be
90s,
tuned in.
early 2000s type of song where the producer tried to put some auto tune. I heard some, I'm like, what the hell is that? He said, well, everybody use auto tunes, everybody except me,
Can't
boo.
sing. Everybody can't sing it a certain way either.
Now, see, I ain't these people gonna call me arrogant. I'm not repeating nothing you say. But what I will say is I don't need auto tune.
Yeah,
I work too hard, being classically trained, singing on Broadway, learning, knowing how to sing, how to inflect, how to crescendo, forte, PP, all that type of beautiful stuff. So I'm like, please don't allow the auto tune to take away from the authenticity of my voice. If I'm breathing, put it in the song.
right,
Honey, I'm fat and I need to breathe to hit
right,
my note. So let the people know, oh, okay, he got a little weight on him. So he got it.
right,
Okay. You see
right,
what Jennifer Holliday did? She had
right,
to reach from her belly.
right.
That's my belly stuff. So and he did. He went back and put that stuff back in. Like, don't do that, boo.
And it's something you hit on, the saying that she allowed you to be yourself
Hmm.
on this stage and take it into another level. Um, how important is representation?
How important is representation?
Many people don't understand that, and as we're going along in these next couple of years, representation has always been huge in our community. Like we need that. And if
Yeah,
I see that, I can become that. That plays in people's head. So how
right.
important is that to you?
To me, representation is my identity.
Mm,
It is it is my driver's license, man. It is how I am identified from what I represent and what I present. Um, I think the mistake that most artists make is that they go into this business with no identity. Um, and what happens is the industry gets to play you.
hmm
They get to paint and they get to create something that you in the long run will not like.
Right,
Um, and they try to play me too, just to be honest. But I know exactly who I am. I
right,
know exactly what I can do. And it's a difference from being pushed, than just, oh, I don't know who I am, but I want you to um, push me in what you see. Like, don't push me from who I'm totally not. But if
right.
I'm not showing you who I am, you get to create your own narrative, your own way. And then now we're uncomfortable and we're doing all types of things to make ourselves cope with and get through. So representation is so important, but first find your identity so you can represent who you are.
Definitely, I have to agree with that. And then on the sit down, how we do is we have three questions
Hmm.
that we ask everybody that comes on our show because the number three is in the word snub. Um,
Okay.
what are three words that best describe who you are as an individual? Test question number one.
3 words. I would say regal.
Mm.
Um, I would say fearless. Um, and I would say anointed.
And why would you use the word anointed?
You know, my gift is something extraordinary. It's something that I know in all of my rehearsing. I rehearse to make myself comfortable on stage. But what I have, I know comes from God.
Mm.
Um, it is set apart. It is different, and that's what anointed means.
Right,
Um, it reaches beyond the limitations of one's intellect and goes to the heart and the soul of an individual. And that's why I say anointed, you know, much makeup and hair and weaves and wigs and capes I wear. That which is in you can shine and blind the eyes of those who can only see you from the outside.
right,
And my experience on this show has been just that. So
right.
yeah.
Okay. That was we haven't had that, so that's why I wanted you to, elaborate on that because we have so many
Mhm.
other words that come through. But if you could have one moment where you're in the shoes of someone from the past or the present for one
That's
day,
good.
who would you want to be and why?
If I could have one moment where I could be in the shoes of someone in the past, who would it be? I would have to say Whitney Houston,
Mm,
Super Bowl performance, singing the national anthem.
that was in moments that she had to sing that song and learn the song. If you know the history about this, you know that was mad. That was anointing right there when she pulled that out.
Absolutely.
That was
So yeah, I mean, there's many moments, but
right.
that moment, because
Yeah,
I know the history of that moment,
right.
it makes it so much more like awesome and amazing. So yeah, Whitney Houston Super Bowl performance, I will the national anthem.
Definitely. And we have a
Hmm.
thing called your final thoughts. What do you want to tell anybody that's watching on our platform? Either it's, and you've already told us what you have going on.
Mhm.
Any final words you want to give to the people that are watching? Yeah, what to look forward to, anything
Mhm.
that's on your heart that you want to share. This is your moment to go ahead and do so.
Oh, thank you. Now I feel like it's my show. But no,
Right?
no, first, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Interviews make me nervous, but you have definitely made me feel part of the family here. And I want to say thank you. And just to all of my Halos, who are my fans, I call them my Halos because they protect me and they just make me feel like, an angel. So to all my Halos, I love you all so much. Listen, this world is our stage. And every time we wake up, we get a chance to perform well, and leave a lasting impression. So that's all I have to say.
Definitely. Well, Asher, I thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on the sit down. It's been an honor and a privilege. Hopefully, one day we bring you on the set to, maybe shoot a cover or
Where,
something. Hint, hint,
listen,
hint,
where is
hint,
the
hint, hint,
set?
hint, hint, hint,
Where's the
hint.
set?
We're gonna probably be, well, we take it all over the place. We sometimes have shoots in LA. We have sometimes shoots in Atlanta. We sometimes have shoot in DC.
Well,
So
you let me know because I'm about to book myself for my own shoot on y'all magazine.
listen, we're gonna do it. All right, we're gonna
Have
sit.
y'all ever had anybody like me?
Listen, this is our fifth year, and we're hit our fifth year. The next year that we're going into is going to be a major stuff. So listen, that's why I'm throwing it at you right now. Listen,
Let me go and get my makeup and stuff, my
get the
little
beauty sleep
Botox.
ready and
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it. I really appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely. We'll see you soon. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night.